Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Good afternoon, doctor.
Okay. Okay, so can we alert our colleagues that we're here on the WhatsApp group? Can somebody go and tell them that we're here, waiting for them?
Hello, Dr. Sameh. How are you today?
Tahani, hi, how are you? Are you
Alhamdulillah.
are you on the way home as
Yes,
usual?
just finished my show.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I will
How's
participate.
everything?
Alhamdulillah. I will participate just يعني when I arrive my home, inshallah.
That's fine. That's fine. No problem.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Okay.
طب نسيت أسألك شفتني اليوم يا دكتور سامح؟
للأسف خرجت بدري، كان عندي موعد في المستشفى. Did I miss something?
Not at all يعني.
Don't you guys have a rerun or something at night?
لا we have already on the YouTube.
طيب, I can go there
Yeah.
and check.
إن شاء الله. يلا see you.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. طيب, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Good afternoon, everyone. This is me again, Dr. Sameh, and this is EL112 summer. And this is is it our 11th class? It's 11th, right? Class number 11. Okay, so what is it that we're doing today? We're finishing off Unit 4 and starting Unit 5. We may need to kind of schedule an extra class because we're supposed to finish 6 units, and uh, the final exam is next week. So in order for us to finish comfortably, I think we need to have an extra class. We'll agree on when and how later, inshallah. So again, it's Unit 4 that we're doing. Just to remember what Unit 4 is about. Anyone and everyone?
Culture.
Excuse me? It was about culture, right? And we now know what culture means. We now know the different facets of culture. We know about cultural artifacts, markers of culture in terms of how we dress, how we eat, how we worship. All those kinds of things are, facets and manifestations of culture. Spoke about cultural diversity, and we said that cultural diversity is good news. When you have people coming from different cultures, and of course, we meet them at the workplace, for example. We meet them in our neighborhoods, and we need to have this sensitivity towards other cultures. Sensitivity in the sense that you need to be accommodating and welcoming and accepting. And this is what we exactly feel here. I've been here in Saudi Arabia for the past 20 years, and I never felt like a stranger or something. So, which means that Saudis are very culturally aware. They welcome and appreciate cultural diversity. So what is it that we're doing? Which part are we focusing on this time around? It's, I think, C for Unit 4C, which is about cultural shocks. You know what a cultural shock is? Let me share the book, and we are on our way. By the way, if you check your LMS today, you will find the mark of the second quiz. This is perhaps going to happen by 6 or 7 p.m. So this is foreseen and it's culture shock, whatever that means. Does it mean what or how it sounds when I say cultural shock? Is it really a shock that people have? And how does
Uh,
it relate to culture? So what's okay? So I don't want a definition as much as I want an example of a culture shock. And if you have gone through the experience, just share it with us. Hmm. يلا تهاني.
I think culture shock when the someone who is travel, for example, abroad for the first time, like when we are talking about in the last century, from Saudi Arabia to travel to, for example, America or Mexico, they saw different culture. Maybe they had a culture shock.
Yeah, they were obviously the shock comes from the fact that you're expecting the other culture to be like your culture, right?
Yes, and also what would have happened in Saudi Arabia the last 4 years ago. It's the change everything in the society. It's by shock.
Yeah. Yeah, more or less. I mean, we're used to behave in a certain way. We're expecting people to behave in a certain way, but now it's different. Again, it's nice that Tahani mentioned the fact that you normally receive this kind of shock when you travel to other countries because you're trying, yeah, perhaps subconsciously to uh, to think of the other culture along the lines of your own culture, if you like. You think that other cultures are like your culture, the way they eat, the way they dress. Obviously, when you go there, it's a totally different experience. Let's have other people on board explaining more what culture shock is and whether they have encountered. Encountered means they met, they have faced or experienced something like that. Let's go to Saleh. If Saleh is, um,
Yes.
yeah. Hi, Saleh. How are you?
Hi. How you doing? All good?
Um,
Alhamdulillah.
mm, So,
Myself, I've experienced a culture shock when I traveled to north of Sweden.
mm,
And it was like 5 p.m. After we ate the dinner, uh, people are feeling sleepy. So
mm,
I thought it's too early because the
yeah,
sun was still on the sky, but it
yeah,
was late, uh, 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. That time was late for them. It is a time for sleep.
yeah,
Uh, the sun does being raised for 18 hours, I think, or more than 18 hours. So it was a culture shock for me.
yeah. Because they are going to sleep, and in our culture, whether in Egypt or in Saudi Arabia, we would have people waking up from sleep at 5 or 6
True, true.
p.m. Yes, I had the similar experience back in 2000. I was in the US. I was working as an interpreter then, and we finished work at like 4 or يعني, or a little afterwards. And okay, I went to the hotel and then I got dressed. I changed my my clothes and started to go down in order to experience the world. I thought that those guys, stay up late and there is going to be this and that. And to
Yes,
my amazement and perhaps frustration at the time, when I went down, the streets were quite empty. I said, "What's happening? Perhaps it's an occasion or something." And I repeated this for perhaps a week. Every time I go down at night in order to meet with people and perhaps practice the language or do something, I find nothing. At one point, I went up to my room in the hotel and I started asking myself, I mean, this is not the America that I heard about. It was like a rural state. It was called Kentucky. And I came to I mean, I started to kind of talk to myself and say, those guys obviously sleep very early because otherwise they wouldn't go to the moon in the morning. They wouldn't make cars in the morning. They wouldn't make computer chips in the morning, right? This was a time when back in Egypt, you would have the television, I mean, working for the early hours of the day, the morning. Yeah, it would stay until dawn or perhaps beyond. This was a culture shock for me. I mean, the States. You go to the States and you think that you'll find people all over the place at night until perhaps 3 or 4 a.m. But none of this happened. So this was like it told me something. Yeah, it told me
It
something.
is it is in the north of America, right?
I don't remember where Kentucky is. I think Kentucky is in the perhaps the
North.
center of the. Yeah, it's. I don't remember. Perhaps you can check. But this applies to all the places. Even I mean, I went home and then I went back to the US in 2001, I think, or two, and it was the same. And I went to New York and it was the same. I went to Washington, D.C., and it was the same. See?
Yeah.
Again, the reason, I mean, you need to look for the reason why they have to sleep early, ya Saleh.
Yes.
They
Yes.
have to sleep
Yes.
early because they are have to operate, factories and mills in the morning. You cannot do what they do. I mean, in terms of making cars and making different kinds of weapons and satellites, unless you are awake and alert. You cannot be alert if you sleep quite late at night, right?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, let's have somebody else talk about a culture shock. Can we have cultural shocks within the same country? If we have a country as diverse and as expansive and big as Saudi Arabia, do people in the north and in the south dress alike or perhaps differently, eat alike or differently? Think about that.
Mostly, we find some difference in the food habits,
Mm-hmm.
where actually, if you are guested in I would say maybe Al Harbi, if ever happened to you,
Mm-hmm.
then they will leave you alone with they put the goat or the meat or whatever, but you eat alone.
Uh-huh.
Uh, with other guests, but
Not the host. The host is
not the
not there.
host. Yeah,
Shouldn't
the
shouldn't
host.
eat with them.
Yes.
Mm.
So it was strange. Where in others, in mostly they will be around. You will see
Mm.
him.
Yeah, eat
Once
together. Yes.
yeah, you would see
Mm.
him. No, he will be still serving you, but he
Mm.
will be around you. Uh,
But
Eating with you,
mhm.
it's rarely you find this rarely in I would say Eastern
Mhm.
uh, and the Western, and also it's part of the modern. Um of Saudi. So eating with the guest is definitely something you have to be aware. There is a difference in the north and the south and east and the west,
Yeah.
but probably they will not eat with you.
I think, yeah, it reminds me, it was one of those Ramadans. This was like 15 years back in time, and I was in Al Hassa, and
Yeah.
you are telling me something now. It was iftar, it was Ramadan iftar, and there was this big banquet. Nasser, my friend, and he brought all types of food. And I still remember very vividly now that he wasn't there. I was eating
Yes.
alone. Yeah. Yeah. And
And
then, and I
they
kept asking myself, where is Nasser? But you're answering the question now after 15 years.
they
Okay.
feel
Yeah.
it's more comfortable for the guests to eat without having the host around.
Yeah. Yes. I guess it's because of this. Yeah. Very interesting. Um, okay. So I think Dina wanted to say something. Come to the mic, yeah, Dina.
I just want to explain a culture shock, but
Yeah.
you have already said
Yeah.
so.
Tell
I
us.
raise
Tell
my
us. Tell us.
is when someone feels like confused or uncomfortable after moving to a new country. This happened because everything it's different, like the language or food, and maybe lifestyle. At first, think feel excited, but later it can be hard with time. People maybe get used to it and feel better.
كل ده ما شاء الله. Bravo. Thank you, Dina. Thank you so much. Okay. So what do we have? We have it happened. Let me see. Can retrieve this. Okay. So what do we have now? We have like a slideshow called Culture Shock, where we have a presenter. Somebody is presenting, is giving a presentation, and obviously it's about culture shock. So again, he is talking. We're not going to listen. We're going to read what the script of the slideshow, and then we talk about it. Um, yeah, it's a little bit long, but I'm sure we can navigate through it quickly. So it's culture shock. This is the presenter. When we finish from here, we'll go there. Again, it should that will yeah. Let's see where it's going to take us. Well, I'll give you like 5 minutes. Let's do it together. We're going to read together. Let me know when you have finished this part so that we can go to the second part. Okay, so we'll take one part at a time. So whatever you have understood from the presentation so far. So obviously the presentation is about culture shock, right? In what way? I'm focused on the part that we have finished. I mean, it's not the whole presentation, I know. So they started off with explaining or perhaps describing what culture shock is, and then we moved to different manifestations, right? So whatever you have understood so far, come to the mic. Hmm, nothing?
The okay, the presenter explained. I would say a situation where in Azerbaijan and Zimbabwe they wear jeans and t-shirts, and then I think he jumped to where he found it a bit strange uh, to have a actually the shock is when you are surrounded by people who dressing different than you.
Mhm.
Usually, you find it strange. Then eating, I
Mhm.
believe when he went to England, he found that
Mhm.
people that are they look and very in hurry. I would say the people look very uh, during the week. People eat lunch at their desk, so
Mhm.
um, they don't pay attention to the meal and be surrounded with people and so on. So it is a bit different, and he found it
Mhm.
shocking.
Did you talk about houses?
I'm not sure. No, actually, I skimmed through. So
No. Yes. So he did speak about houses and the fact that in some cultures you have privacy, which is something that you don't find in some cultures because they come together, they live together, um, and this can also be kind of shocking for some people. Yeah, let's move to the second part. This is the second part of the presentation. Read. Okay. So what are we talking about here? Are we talking about something different, or is it a continuation of those examples of cultural differences that may come across as shocking? Did we go anywhere else? I mean, I remember that we stopped in France or England, right? And then he spoke about the French. What's the difference between the French and the English? Who values meals more? Who values the idea of sitting around a table and eat and talk to people, and engage in a conversation? The English or the French? Hmm.
I believe the French.
The
The French,
French.
they value more, sitting and chatting around the
Yes.
table.
Yeah, there is obviously more to a meal than just filling the stomach, like he said, right? Nice.
Yes, yes.
So
Where the
what other?
British,
Yeah, very good. Go on, Yasal.
The British, they don't value the time, uh, sitting for dinner and having a chat.
Yeah,
Where
they are presented as being in a hurry, always in a hurry, right?
Yes, that's true.
Yes, yes. What other examples did he give? Obviously, we also went to Asia, right? Spoke about what in Asia, or what countries did he cite or talk about? Remember?
He spoke about visiting India, and there is the colorful Holi
Yeah,
festival,
yes.
where they throw a lot of color powder around them and celebrate. I think it's
Yeah,
part of their religion, the part
yeah,
of
Holi.
ritual.
I know. I don't know. I think it's what it is normally in January or something. Yes, I know Holi. Yeah, it's yeah, which may seem strange for like a foreigner, right?
Yes, true.
And what is even more shocking and would be that festival in Spain, in Pamplona, I think, where they release uh, bulls,
Yes,
and that can
this
be
is very
very,
famous.
yeah,
It's very
that
famous.
can be very dangerous, right?
It's true. Yes,
Yes, and they went all the way again to Thailand, where people pierce
check
their cheeks, yes, which is
cheeks.
obviously
Yes,
very hurtful. Yeah, these are all manifestations of cultures that may be shocking to people who don't understand the culture. And then he moved on to talk about perhaps less harsh practices, less hurtful when we talk about cultures uh, that honor and respect perhaps punctuality, staying in queues and lines. If you come from a culture that does not appreciate that, it would be a shock for you, right? Okay, let's move on. This is perhaps the last part. Mm. We're done with this part. Let's move to this part. Okay. So what more do we have that can cause culture shock? So we spoke about the element of punctuality. Punctuality means being on time. If you have a meeting, you be uh, in the place on time, not in time. There is obviously a difference between being on time, which means at the designated time exactly, but in time, you're perhaps late or something. So obviously, timekeeping is very important. In some cultures, they value punctuality, in others, it's a little bit fluid. Um, that can cause a shock. When it comes to also money, and in some countries, you have to kind of haggle. Haggle means you negotiate the price to تفاوض في السعر. And if you come from a culture that does not do that, obviously it becomes a shock, and you may be even put be put at a disadvantage. Then he spoke about tips and tipping, and it does exist in some cultures, and it doesn't in others, right? What else? Communication and conversations. What is allowed in a culture for people to talk about, and what is not allowed. So these are all manifestations of culture shock. If you're not aware, yeah, it may land you in trouble, can even be traumatic to you. That's why before you travel to certain countries, um, some governments will provide their people and their citizens with training, with cultural training, about being sensitive to the culture, knowing a thing or two about this culture, so that you can absorb any kind of culture shock you may get or receive. Yeah, that's interesting. Let's move on. So, because we're talking about cultures and meeting people and doing this and that, in order to talk about culture and culture shocks and what is allowed and what is not, what is permitted and what is not, what is recommended, we use modal verbs. And we spoke about modal verbs before. Modal verbs are verbs like can, may, and can, may not, should and shouldn't, must, don't have to, may. So depending on what you're doing, you would use a modal verb. If we're talking about permission, where you are either allowing somebody to do something or somebody is allowing you to do something, you use words like can, may, can't, may not. And we have an example here. You may bring a bottle of water to class, but you can't bring food. So you may bring a bottle of water. I'm allowing you to do this. And even sometimes you even ask permission to say, may I come in? May I speak? May I answer this question? This is asking for permission. I say, yes, you may, or you may not. This is not giving you the permission that you're asking for. So in order to express permission, whether allowing or asking for permission, we use words like can, may, can, and may not. Possibility is another model. Can and can't. You can hire bicycles from the shop, but you can't buy drinks. So this is talking about the possibility of doing something, the ability to do something more or less. And then you have recommendation. When it's recommendation and it has this element of advice to it, when we use words like should and shouldn't, ought to and ought not to. And I say you should wear a jumper when the weather is cold. Okay, I'm recommending, but I'm not imposing the advice on you. You take it or leave it. You should come to class on time. You should leave class on time. You should do your homework. You should listen to your parents. This is all meant as recommendation or advice. So ought to is exactly like should. So you should listen to your parents can be you ought to listen to your parents. And again, what comes after the modal verb, the verb in the base form, no S, no ED, no ING. So obligation, when you are obliged to do something, obliged means that you have to do something. Okay, so we use words like must, have to, and mustn't. Mustn't if you're obliged not to do something. So you must obey the laws of the country and mustn't get into trouble. So obviously, this is very important because if you fail to do something, obviously, dire consequences. When I talk about laws being followed, then you must obey them because if you don't, you're going to land in trouble, right? You mustn't get into trouble, which means you're not allowed because otherwise there is going to be like a fine or a problem. Then lack of obligation, when you don't have to do something. You don't have to buy the book, it's in the library. Okay? So don't have to. It's like say need not. You need not to buy the book. Deduction is when you're making a guess. Common. So she must be tired after such a long journey. Okay? If somebody is not here today in class, you're giving it your best guess or يعني shot. You are guessing. You're saying he must be tired. She must be tired. She must have an exam at the university. That's why she didn't come, perhaps. So deduction الاستنتاج يعني comes in different forms and shapes. 90%, if you're like 90% sure of something, you use must. If you're like 50 or lower, you use may, might, or could. He could be guilty. He has been acting very suspiciously. So he could be. So there is obviously a difference between he must be guilty, which means that I am 90% sure. If I say he could be guilty or he may be guilty, it means that I'm 50 or even below sure. And then you have can't, which is guessing or making your best guess, but in the negative. He can't be 60. He looks much younger than that. Okay, he can be. Um,
I have a question
yeah,
regarding
yeah,
deduction.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Yes.
Deduction is the name of the rule, or because we are using deduction at work where we cutting salaries and
Yes, yes, yeah. It has, of course, different meanings, and one meaning has to do with this idea of guessing,
guessing. Yeah.
expressing levels of certainty, and it's from the verb deduce.
Uh, all right.
The verb that you're referring to is deduct.
Yes.
So deduct for salaries, cutting salaries or discounting something. But the verb that we're referring to here is deduce, يستنتج.
Thank you.
Okay, so they have the two of them have the same noun, deduction, but obviously with different meanings. Okay, let's go
Okay,
on.
ممكن أسأل سؤال؟
Absolutely, yeah, go ahead.
deduct, you mean we use not deduct the same word في الاستنتاج يعني she deduct be tried after such a long journey, that's meaning.
Um, Yes, but we don't use the word itself in order to express levels of certainty. درجات يقين يعني اللي فيها متأكد أو مش متأكد أو نص متأكد. We use modal verbs like must, may, could. واخد بالك؟
Yes, okay.
Yeah, this is it. Again, let's perhaps talk more about it in order يعني, for it to be perhaps clearer to you. Again, I'm talking about being 90% sure of something. How can we express being sure, being 90% sure of something? We use, like I said, the word must. Again, um, let me give you an example. I think let me see if I can have like a Word file open and then we explain it. Let's say, so again, we're talking about levels of certainty and how to express them. درجات اليقين. Oh, sometimes you're sure of something. Right. Being sure of something means that you're going to use the verb as is. Okay, when I say he is sick, he must be sick. He may, could be sick. He might be sick. Okay, so these are all levels of certainty. But which of them is like I am 100% sure of what I'm saying, and which of them is I am perhaps 20% sure of what I'm saying? I'm asking everyone.
And the first one, he is
The
sick.
first one, he is sick, is I am 100% sure of what I'm saying. Okay? How about he must be sick?
20%.
كم؟
20%.
لا ازاي؟
50% probably.
I would say
And
80 to 90%.
Okay.
Yeah, must.
لانه انت هتسيب he might be sick هتقول عليها ايه طيب يا صالح لما انت خلصت البرسنتج العالي right right
صحيح.
uh, but this is like 40%
May or could 40%.
and this could be 20%. Normally when you talk about these things you need to provide evidence or proof. Okay, let's talk about Ali, who didn't show up today, but he is always here. If he is, of course, you're not, يعني 100%, you know that he never, he's always on time, he never misses classes, but for some reason, he didn't show up. And the reason could be that he is sick. So you're going to say, he, or Ali, for that matter, Ali must be sick. What happens if you called him on the phone and he said that he was sick? So what are you going to say to the teacher? You're going to say, Ali must be sick, or ولا Ali may be sick, ولا Ali might be
Ali,
sick, ولا Ali is
Ali
sick.
is sick.
Absolutely, because you spoke to him and he said it. He said that he is sick. So Ali is sick. Okay, so this is guessing, and this is a high level of guessing, like 90%. Let's think of other examples. Um, and let's take to, now I don't want to go to the past because with the past we're going to tweak it a little bit. Let's talk about things. If somebody comes from outside and he is all muddy and full of wet and water is all over the place, what are you going to deduce about the weather? So somebody came from outside and he is all wet and there is water all over. So what are you going to say about the weather? Are you going to say that it is raining? Remember, you
Yeah,
haven't
the weather.
seen it. You
Might
haven't seen it with your
rain.
type. You haven't seen it with your own eyes. That's why you cannot be 100% sure, right? You need to give it your best guess. So, what is your best guess?
Must
It must be raining
rain.
outside.
Raining or rain?
لا raining
Ah,
لأن عندك verb to
raining.
be
Like
قبلها,
yeah, there to be
right?
raining.
Must be raining. Okay, طيب. Can you think of another scenario? What? Um, okay, so for example, you have um, the bell ringing for so long and nobody's answering the door. What do you think of those inside? They are not answering the door and you've been ringing the bell for so long. Are you going to say that they are asleep? Yeah, maybe, but perhaps you're not sure. Perhaps they are outside, right? So a better answer would be they
Must be out.
they must be out. أو حتى they must be asleep. When I say they must be asleep فيجي حد يقول لا يخالف الرواية ويأكد لا هما they can't be asleep because I have seen them outside. بص كده بيقول ايه they can't be asleep. ايه ال evidence I have seen them outside, let's say have an hour ago. Is that clear, everyone? ماشي. They can't be asleep. I saw them outside half an hour ago. Let's move on. Move to Unit 5. This is all about Unit. لا, I need to say something about C21 skills because this is interesting. I'm not going to like spend too much time on that, perhaps later. Here we're talking about statistics and charts. You know what statistics are, right? You know what statistics are? When I talk about
Numbers.
percentages,
إحصاء.
Numbers.
yes, بالضبط. When we talk about the number of, let's talk about our class and let's talk about some of the statistics of the class. When I say that we have, let's say, 55% of the class are female. When I say that, let's say 30% of the class are above 30. When I say that, what else? 25% of the class are from Jeddah. So these are all called statistics, right? Okay, so where do you get those statistics from? Where can you see them? You can see them in graphs and tables and charts, right? And of course, in order to collect them, you need to have questionnaires, you need to have surveys and all those kinds of. Okay, so let's talk about that. Statistics and charts, graphs, or tables that present statistics often look impressive. They look nice because you see them in tables and charts, but they are not always reliable. You cannot safely rely on them. Reliable means that موثوقين. Sometimes figures or numbers are inaccurate. You know what inaccurate is? Things are either accurate, which is obviously good, في دقة, or inaccurate, which is مش دقيقين, through poor collection and analysis of the facts. At other times, statistics are deliberately presented in a way that affects people's reactions positively or negatively. Sometimes they are deliberately presented. You know what deliberate is? Deliberate is like intentional. When you have an
Yeah.
intention, you are tweaking something in a certain way. You're presenting something so that it can look and seem and sound and go in a certain way. Deliberately يعني بشكل متعمد. Okay? So these are all examples of, charts and graphs. And as you can see, they look nice, they look appealing, but you need to take what they show with a grain of salt. To take something with a grain of salt يعني ايه؟ تبقى متحفظ شوية، يعني ما تقبلش الحاجة at its face value. يعني بشكل لا you need to question what you are seeing. And what you're seeing is not always accurate or honest or truthful. Okay, so these are all examples of people presenting, and of course they are giving us graphs and statistics. Again, the takeaway here is that you should be careful with numbers, whether you're giving them or you are, kind of receiving them. You need to double check because they may not always be accurate, and sometimes they are not made accurate deliberately. Let's now move to the new unit. Before we do that, I'll give you like a 10-minute break, and then when we come back, we do Unit 5. And the title of Unit 5 is A Better World. Let's see whether it is a better world or not. So I'll see you in 10 minutes, inshallah. Okay, everyone? Yes. Hello, guys, can hear me? I'm back.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Bye. Like I said, we're starting Unit 5, and Unit 5 is about this question, a better world. So this is obviously a question, but it's not, it's a short form of a question. What was the original question? And what kind of question is it? Is it a yes no question or a WH question? A better world? A better world?
How we can achieve a better
No, no,
world?
no. My question is about the question itself. Is it is it a short form of a question or is it a real question? I'm talking
A short
gram
form.
yeah, it's a short I'm talking grammatically now. So it's a short form of a question. What was the original question?
What is a better word,
Um,
or what do you think?
How
What is a
can
mm,
better?
we make it a better world?
no, it's not an information question or a WH question. It is a yes no question.
Yes, is a better word.
Is it a better world? Okay, so
But
the
but
the
but
the ori yeah, go ahead.
أنا عندي سؤال بس هقوله بالعربي. A
Okay.
better word يعني زي مثلا أنت تقول لي this is a better word، أنا زي اللي أرد عليك، زي اللي بقول really a better word، زي اللي
Yeah.
بأكد إنه هل هذا حقيقي كده يعني.
I'm asking if it is, if it really is a better world or not. فيها
Yeah.
تعجب.
أيوه.
Okay. So obviously, when I say better, it means that I am comparing it to some other world. Obviously, I'm comparing it to the world perhaps in the 70s and the 60s, right? Right? So is it really a better world? I'm asking you now. This is a yes no question. The world that we live in now, is it a better world, better than before? And how, why, and why not? Yeah,
Let's
I
say
mean,
yes. Yeah, let's say it's better world. Yes.
it's a better world. In what sense is it better, yeah, Saleh?
In the sense of advancement. So
Mm,
in in missionary, it's more advanced. In work-life balance, it's I would say work-life balance would be a challenge, but it is better than before.
okay, but it's individualistic. It depends on you. I mean,
Yes,
yeah.
and it's
Um,
it's worse for the globe, for the environment. It's
yeah,
worse and worse and worse.
okay. So it's not totally, yeah, a good one. I mean, obviously we have issues, right? Um, okay. So technology is big, right? Perhaps this is one big reason people think it's a better world in terms of technology. In terms of convenience, convenience means the ability to do stuff in a more efficient way. Now that we have the internet, now that we have AI, right? Now that we have cars that take us here and there, planes, right? Again, this is not the whole picture, obviously. There are also uh, bad things. We also have issues, right? So, what are some of the issues that we have, the serious issues that we have in the world? So, what do you think are the most serious issues facing the planet at this time? Planet, of course, we're talking about Earth, the planet Earth.
Global warming.
Yeah, global warming. Yeah, منطقتك دي بقى المفروض يا تهاني, right?
I have so many, by the way.
Yeah, yes, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah, global
So,
warming, and we have also lack of food.
yeah,
Some area they have starvation.
yeah, food scarcity, yes.
Hmm.
Um, so this is perhaps, yeah, they are all man-made and manufactured by man. It's because of global warming, which is obviously man-made, you have volcanoes, you have earthquakes, you have two tsunamis, right? How about wars and, you know, conflicts, armed conflicts everywhere? These are also challenges, right? And issues. Like
Yes, and the humanity they face the dangers for the nuclear weapons.
nuclear weapons, yes. Yes. So these are all pressing, we call them pressing issues, pressing and mulah, and they are very serious challenges. Okay. So the reading and the speaking that we're going to do has to do with problems. And what kind of problems? These are environmental problems having to do with the environment. Again, the vocab and the words that we're going to use all have to do with global issues. Give me another word for global. Give me a synonym. A synonym is a word that has the same meaning. What's a synonym for global?
International.
International. And give me an antonym. Antonym is a word that has the opposite meaning. What's the antonym for global?
Local.
Local, regional, right? Very good. And then we have biomimicry. Any idea what biomimicry is? You know what bio is when we have biology, and you know what mimicry is. So you divide the word into two and you can come up with a meaning. So mimicry is about imitating and copying. الواحد يقلد حاجة. And bio has to do with our biology and the biology of animals. So perhaps it's about us mimicking and imitating animals. Um, when we create something, we'll talk more about that. And then when it also comes to reading, we're going to talk about evaluating credibility and identifying bias. This is something that we need to be kind of on the lookout about. We need to be aware that bias اللي هو التحيز can exist. تحيز في piece of writing or piece of reporting is when somebody is taking sides, taking one side. So this is called bias. So you have biased reporting, biased articles, biased opinions. So you need to be able to identify bias when you see one. Identify and تعرف على أو تكتشف to detect. And this is all part of what we call evaluating credibility. When a source that you're using, whether you're reading or watching something, is credible. Credible, it means that you can trust. So when a source is credible, we mean that it enjoys credibility, which means that you can trust the information in it. Um, when we talk about credibility, we talk about websites, we talk about TV channels, we talk about books, right? Okay, let's move on. So here we're talking about responsibility. Who is responsible for the global issues that we have? So discuss which global issues you think are most important. You need to give reasons and add your own ideas. So if you have to choose, uh, these are four global issues. I would like you to look at them. Environmental destruction, overpopulation, waste, and water shortage. Which of them do you think is the most pressing, الأكثر إلحاحا, or perhaps the most important? And which of them is the least pressing or the least important? I'll give you like half a minute to think. Environmental destruction or damage, overpopulation, waste, and water shortage. Which of them is you think is the most pressing and the most important? Okay, Saleh.
I think overpopulation is more pressing nowadays. And
Mm-hmm.
then um it would come water shortage
Mm-hmm.
next to it. And then last one, which is environmental destruction.
Yeah, the environmental destruction is very important, and then waste of all types, right? Okay, let's
Yes.
have somebody else, perhaps um, they can think of a different arrangement or order. Tahani, what do you think?
I think the water shortage is the first one. After that, the over not environment destruction and overpopulation and waste,
Mhm.
because the water is very important for everything in life.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
have a problem of them. We have a problem in the different region or different ways.
And they normally say that the wars of the future are wars about and on water,
Yeah,
right?
water,
Yes,
food, especially
yes.
water. They start already.
Which is true, yes. That started, yeah, I mean, different parts of the world, in Africa, for example, this,
North of Syria and Iraq. They start in the river Dijla and Furat. They draw now.
you mean Turkey banning or
Yeah,
blocking? Yeah, yes. They are even constructing dams over there. Yes. I thought this was like a couple of years ago. One of the tributaries of El Frat. I don't know whether it was El Frat.
after
Uh,
Iraq war.
it got يعني emptied and it dried altogether,
Yeah,
and they
and
have to
Iran
like
also.
ask Turkey to kind of allow more water and stuff. So how
You know,
relevant? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, just this is information. I read the article so many years ago. They wrote about the Israel. They will control the water in the Middle East. They will be
Uh,
controlling the water in the Middle East. But
yeah,
when, I don't know.
yeah, but it's normally strategy. It's, I mean, years. I mean, if you talk about 10 or 20 or perhaps generations, these are not big years in the lives of nations. Perhaps they are talking strategically. 50 years from now or something. But they have started talking, they are talking to the Ethiopians back in Africa, for example. They also have, and there's sources of water, and they ban, sometimes they have to kind of block water from Jordan in order to exercise some pressure on them. It's very political, I know. So how relevant is each issue in your country? Relevant means that it has some bearing on you or on your country. Um, Remember when we spoke about something being relevant, when we speak about articles and essays and paragraphs, and we said that this is relevant, means it has something to do with the subject. Not relevant, it means that it has nothing to do with what we're talking about. So is any of the issues that we spoke about relevant to your country and to your context? Do we kind of face any of those problems? Let's focus on our context, Saudi Arabia. Which of those issues is relevant or relatable to Saudi Arabia, if any?
Overpopulation will be something to discuss in Riyadh, in probably less density in Mecca, Jeddah,
Mhm.
and Dammam, where
But
actually the
overall,
country,
you're
yeah, the
talking
country is
about
big. The
how we're talking about 40 million, perhaps,
40 million, yes,
which
with
is
expat and everybody.
given the fact that the kingdom is like 2 million plus kilometers. That this is big.
True.
This is so big.
Huge.
Yeah,
Yes,
right? But I don't
that's
believe that
true.
the kingdom is facing a problem when it comes to over. It's only a matter of kind of distribution, population distribution that can also
Absolutely.
happen. Yes, if you have
Absolutely. Yes.
investments in other places and if you have infrastructure and all those kinds of. But I don't believe that overpopulation is an issue.
Uh,
So if it's not overpopulation, what is it?
I mean, if we are speaking about, in particular, one of the top issues,
Mm,
I don't think we are saying we are suffering, but we have part of it
mm,
in different manners. So overpopulation in certain
mm.
areas.
Yes.
Why? Because the vision, the most of projects, it's happening in that region.
Mm, yes.
That's why it's so dense. But
Yes.
like waste, I mean, we suffered in Jeddah mostly
Mm.
um, many years ago, where there is a flood
I
happened.
was there. I promise you, I was there. Yeah,
So
and I was stuck.
la
Yeah,
ilaha
so
illallah.
many stories. So many sad stories. Yeah.
True.
Yes. I mean, are we talking
Greenery.
about resource waste? We're wasting resources. This is what we're referring to, or what?
Uh, the waste resources is the main issue,
Mm,
because they are not planned well. They plan, it's few kilometers away from houses, and they build a dam, and it's where they throw everything chemical, and
mm,
houses, waste water also will be dammed there. But then
mm,
it's flood. That is the flood, actually. It's
mm.
overflow the dam.
Yeah.
And nowadays there is regulations where it is separated, and the chemical companies, they are forced to waste their water through another waste company, and
And also the fact that they started kind of building canals and and they started to even cover the canals that were like uncovered. They started a whole kind of sanitary system.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
yes.
It's ring a bell to
Mm,
the government, so they avoid having the same thing in capital Riyadh,
mhm.
and the project is huge. Until today, they are building big dams and it is growing. I would say it's gonna be huge when
When
they
it,
open
mm,
when they operate it on time.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
last thing is the greenery,
Mm,
where in Riyadh they suffer so much from the dust,
mhm,
and the dust actually coming from desert. It's like yearly, and it is from worse to worse.
mhm.
And then they discovered it's actually from the people actually cutting wood
Trees
from
and
desert trees. Yes,
yeah, they need to have like a belt of trees, I think, that can
true.
solve the problem. Yes, that can go
Yes.
around Riyadh. Yes. They
So
can, then, I don't know of countries where, these are countries that started an initiative about, protecting cities. I don't know of countries that have the same problem. Um, how about water shortage?
in the kingdom, we we have a few, I would say, raining over the year, and we waste them on greenery plants. So I think in one year, maybe 20 years ago, we were equal to Egypt when they have
Mm,
7.5 million uh, uh, of greenery out of
mm,
rain after Nile rain, and we have the
mm,
same 7.5 in
mm,
Saudi,
mm,
where actually we have distillery plant, and we have actually we are making the water. We are making the water out of sea,
yeah.
out of the sea waters. Yes, and we don't have a river like a Nile. So they stopped all the greenery plant, and we went down on our um, agriculture plan, where actually we are
You mean
importing
because
wheat
it
today.
because it needs water, right?
It needs water, yes.
Yes, a lot of water. Yes.
But nobody knows about nowadays, whereas the global warming, it's actually reversed here.
And this is what I
So
noticed in Jeddah. Of all the places that I know in the world, Jeddah is affected by global warming in a positive way. You cannot
true.
imagine how, and I think Tahani knows about that, and all people our age who live in Jeddah. When I first came to Jeddah like 15 or 17 years ago, Jeddah was so humid, and it made me feel that the day that I walked into Jeddah, it made me feel that I am being soaked in a barrel of oil, you know, very sticky, very humid, and it was hot all the year round. Now we have clear winter, we have summer, and the weather
Yes,
is so beautiful, by the way.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Really,
See?
I agree with you because
Yeah.
I used to live out of the country
Mm,
11 years.
mhm,
Recently, I come back to Saudi Arabia. I visit Jeddah. This is my town
mm,
home. But when I
yes.
visit Jeddah in the summer, I told them the weather is nice. It's not too much humidity. And at night,
Yes.
you feel the air is a good and the clean weather.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Comparing between
Yeah.
Riyadh and Jeddah, is a clean weather.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Global warming is bad news everywhere except in Jeddah, alhamdulillah. Right, let's move on. because we have other issues to talk about. Okay. Thank you. Yes. This is a very interesting article that I would like us to kind of read very quickly. So read the text and see how relevant is each issue in your country. Let's just focus on reading the article. Yalla, go ahead. So it's so small, but it's so profound and very deep, and it's very alarming too, right? Lots of red flags. So what are we talking about? Hmm. Or perhaps a better question would be, who is causing all these issues in the world?
I think people.
Yeah, people, human beings like me and
Yeah,
you, right?
yeah.
So what are the issues here? What are we talking about?
Overpopulation
Overpopulation.
and also infrastructure,
Um,
not
when we
infrastructure.
infrastructure is a symptom يعني عرض لمرض. المرض هو overpopulation and
And
lack of
mismanagement.
infrastructure and perhaps destroying the infrastructures are symptoms of having يعني overpopulated areas.
And
Uh,
mismanagement
yeah, yeah, mismanagement of what?
of
Resources,
water resource.
water,
Yeah,
yes.
resource.
So it's obviously it's not that we don't have water. It's also the fact that we are irresponsible when it comes to the use of water. Irresponsible use of water, you don't use water wisely in a wise way, right? How about this idea of deforestation? What is deforestation? It's
Cutting
yes,
the trees, cutting the
yeah,
trees.
very good because it comes from the word forest, and you know what a forest is. right? So deforest, it means that you destroy the forest. So deforestation is the cutting يعني down on trees. And they also call it يعني هو شكل من أشكال التصحر يعني. And then you have biodiversity. Obviously, biodiversity is not bad, but the loss of biodiversity is the challenge. What is biodiversity? Of course, you know what diversity is because we spoke about cultural diversity at one point.
المختلف biodiversity.
Diverse means مختلف, متنوع. And bio
It's
as,
is
yes.
animals, something
Yeah, we're
related.
talking about
Mhm.
animals. So biodiversity تنوع
حيوان.
يعني انه في حيوانات في انه يبقى في حيوانات في يعني في يعني في العالم يعني في تنوع فيهم يعني living side by side with us. So the loss of biodiversity, it means that lots of those species, lots of those animals go extinct. Extinct يعني بيسموهم إيه؟ زي الديناصورات كده بيختفوا بيندثروا. اندثار يعني extinction. So this is also um, a big challenging problem because why do we have loss of biodiversity? Because because of this overpopulation problem, we cut trees, and of course, we talk about forests. If you don't have a forest, animals wouldn't have their natural habitat, and they go and die, right? And there was this idea of waste disposal. This is a very important problem. Dispose of something is to get rid of something. So waste disposal is getting rid of waste, right? So disposing of waste is also one of the issues and one of the problems. And these are all examples of issues and problems. So you can see you have pollution, you have waste, right? Okay. I think I'll stop on this note. And when we meet again, we're going to talk about natural solutions. So it's not, or it wouldn't be enough to talk about issues and problems. You need to also think of solutions to these problems. And this is what we're going to talk about next time. What I want you to do for next time, I would like you to read till the end of Unit 5. I may ask you to come before Wednesday. I'll see what يعني availability slots I have, and I'll share them with you, and we can agree on a day and on a time, inshallah. I don't know whether you have issues with us meeting perhaps at 6 or 7 p.m. You have issues with us meeting at night? If not tomorrow,
Which date?
uh, what is tomorrow? Tomorrow is Monday.
Monday. Mm.
Yeah. When do I have a class? Yeah, I have a class at 6. And Tuesday I have injection at 4. I won't be able to. Uh, mm, if we can make it on Tuesday, but Tuesday it has to be early. It has to be in the morning. Are you available in the morning?
No, I can't. For me, I
Mm.
can't.
طيب let me يعني check and I'll give you choices and we can agree on one of them.
Okay.
Anyway, we're meeting on
Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Tuesday.
We can meet if we don't have any options left. We're going to meet on Wednesday and on Thursday.
Wednesday, what time? I have a writing class with Miss Irada from 4 to 6. We can do, if you don't mind, at the same time, if the other students acceptable that time, from 2 to 4. Wednesday or
Well,
Thursday.
Wednesday, yeah, Wednesday احنا Wednesday we're meeting anyway
Okay.
صح مش احنا بنتقابل
Yeah,
Wednesday
but
الساعة
what
2.
Tuesday? What about Tuesday?
Tuesday um, عندي موعد في المستشفى الساعة 4. In order I have to leave like an hour. طيب let me think about it.
Okay,
وأنا هديكوا options when to you tell me which is appropriate for you inshallah.
inshallah. Thank you. Bye bye.
I would like you to check your LMS inshallah by perhaps 7 or 8 p.m. today. I'll be releasing the mark on LMS. يلا نشوفكم على خير. السلام عليكم.